All right, I've had this walnut root ball for a while now. And I started to burn it. You can see it's got some char on it. And I'm like, it didn't burn that good in the brush pile I was in. It's probably too wet. And then I drug it out a while back. It probably weighs 250 pounds, I would guess. I can only just roll it. I had to cut a few ends off, but it's been outside for a while now, probably like 2 years. Hopefully it was enough to get most of the dirt off so I don't destroy my chain. It looks pretty clean, but I can already see some curl in it. I learned that walnut root ball is where a lot of the nice grain is, and some of the wood I've used in some of my bows is from a walnut root ball my buddy got me. But I'm gonna cut this thing up and see what it looks like in here, and if it's not any good or something wrong with it, I'll burn it. But just trim it up here. Probably going to slab it. There's 2 root balls that go this direction, so I'm probably going to try to keep those in there so I can get some length. So probably just straight down right here. Whew, this electric saw don't really like ripping. I don't think the chain speed's too low, but it's getting there. It's a little dull, but that's all right. It's gonna be dull after cutting this. It's got dirt on it here and there. Alright, I think I got it loose. Let's see here. This was worth the time. Oh yeah. Well, that sucker's still loaded with moisture. I'm gonna grab a bucket of water, we'll dump on there. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that coloration. Man. Good stuff. All right, start the second cut here. That's some sweet stuff. Oh man. Wowzers. Check that out. See if I can get the right lighting here for you. It's hard to tell, but pretty wild. I'm gonna have to cut this up smaller because none of this is gonna fit through any of my tools. I need to get it where it'll fit through the planer because I got it so thick. I should have cut it a little bit thinner, but it's too late now. Yeah, I'll trim it up here and we'll take it inside and run it to the planer some, and then we'll have to obviously dry it, but I'll see if there's anything worth cutting off of those pieces too. So here's one of the offcuts. Sorry. So here's one of the offcuts. Beautiful grain. And I wondered what, here, let's see if I can get this where you can see this grain. And I wondered what this stuff was. I think it's clay embedded into the root. That's pretty wild. No wonder my chainsaw's so dull now. All right, so here's our slab rough sawn. It's pretty nice. It's let's flip it over here. Oh gosh, we're probably a foot wide, maybe 13 inches wide, and probably 3 feet long here. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. I think there's another clay inclusion right here. Yeah, there is. Dang it, I'm gonna have to get that out before I run that through my planer. But I'm gonna try to run this big hunk through the planer a bunch. And I cut another slab off of it. It's underneath there. I had it way too thick, but I'm trying to get about 3 inches before I dry it, and then wear dry it for a few years, and then we'll final plane it down to, you know, a little over 1.5 inches or something, or 1.75 inches, whatever I want my final thickness to be. But yeah, I'll go run this thing through the planer now. My batteries are all dead. The DeWalt, that's the biggest DeWalt saw they make. It works really good. It's not very good when you cut continuous like that. It overheats the batteries, but it's really made for the 15 amp battery, which I don't have. I just have a 9 and a 12, and the 12s I've heard are not very good. The 9 actually lasts longer than the 12, so it is what it is. I'm sure I'll have someone in the comments saying about how a gas saw would be better, but for what I do, that's perfect actually. I can cut, you know, half a truckload of firewood with the batteries I got at a time, and stuff like that. Limbs are down and stuff like this. It's perfect. So I'm not a big time logger. That's what my brother does. I get made fun of for my electric saw. So, but yeah, I'm gonna try to plane this down. Hopefully I don't destroy everything I own trying to get this piece of wood processed. So I cut it a little bit too thick on this one side. It's like 3 and a little under 3.5 here, which is what I wanted, but it's like over 5 on this side. I didn't realize I cut it that uneven. So it's not fitting in my planer, so I'm gonna hand plane some of this off here. I already did a little bit. I know that seems like it take forever, but a few minutes, I don't know what else to do. I don't want to try to have to cut it again with the chainsaw. I'd rather just take it slow. 5 minutes with this hand plane, or 10 minutes, and I could probably have it. Run into more clay here. Hopefully it don't dull my blades, because I don't think I'm going to get away from it. Let's see if we can take this thing down some. So I went ahead and opted for the hand plane. I tried it on my lunchbox style planer in the shop there, and it kept plugging up my dust collection. I think this is so wet that the chips are just plugging it up, because this kept plugging up. But I got a pile of chips right there. I'll have to spread out in the yard or something, but it looks pretty good. This is the better side. I'm gonna wet it down. It's still thick. It's probably not quite 4. But it's really not flat. I'm sure it's uneven, but it's as good as it's gonna get. I'm gonna have to just get it dry and then just plane it down later, because I can't get it to work. I'm tired of messing with it. But you're asking, why spend so much time on a single piece of wood? And here's a good reason. Look at all the figure in this. And it'll get better because I'm getting down into these root, like where these root vein, or I don't know what you would call them, like the fins of the roots were, but you can see it's full of colorations. I mean, there's some red in here. There's some spalting. This is like greenish in here. This is not at the best, but all together it's pretty dang good. A lot of figure, like shimmers and stuff. Like I said, I think it'll get better as I get down into, I'm just now getting into the root vein thingies there. Like these are pretty thin and narrow, and that's why I cut it this way, so I get both them, and it'll be pretty nice stuff. I'm gonna flip it over here. All right, I got it flipped over. We'll wet this side down. You can see the coloration. I don't care for that green as much, but most of the wood will come off this side to thin it. You can see the thickness of this. This is probably about 2 inches. I want to get down to that level. So a lot of this will be gone, but you can start to see the curl coming in with this root. Like I said, hopefully that gets better. And hopefully I get through some of this green and these cracks. But I mean, you got some black lines. You got a little bit of curl. The other side's a little bit better because it's down into the root more, but it's gonna be pretty sweet. But I could force dry this, but stuff like this it just does so bad if you force dry. It'll just crack into pieces because the grain's just too crazy. So I'll probably just, you know, do the long route. I'll probably, like something like this is pretty dang thick. I'll probably air dry it for a while. Maybe like next year I'll bring it in and I'll plane it down some more, and then I'll go back, you know, another year or something, and then I'll force dry the rest of the way. But I can't believe it's been out of the ground for a year and a half and it's still this freaking green, but that just is what it is. Yeah, the color in this is awesome. I don't think my lighting's doing this much good, but kind of see. So this plane right here will be close. I'll probably take it down a little bit to try to get through some of this a little bit more, because we got plenty of thickness on this end. Yeah, so this will probably take, let's say we're 3 3/4. I'll probably take, if I'm gonna get to like 1 3/4 final, I'm gonna take, you know, probably 1/2 inch off this side and then 1.5 inches off the other side, but it will shrink. This will probably lose at least a 1/2 inch of thickness by the time it's dry. It's unbelievable how much wood moves when it dries, as it dries. But yeah, there it is. It was a few hours invested in this project, but hopefully it'll be worth it. I mean, there's actually more over there I'm gonna cut up. Maybe a different day when I get some more time. Some of the other root veins, make some smaller pieces, but for now I'm just gonna do this piece, and I'll keep those other ones laying over there, and if I get time to mess with them, I will. But yeah, this is just one way I get some of my wood, just resourcefulness. It's just a walnut root ball that was in my yard that someone dug out for me. The tree was already cut when I bought this place, so I don't know how big the tree was. It wasn't huge, probably like a 12-inch diameter, but a tree. I have some nice walnuts, a few of them through there, not bad, but a tree that's not very big still has a pretty big root ball. I mean, a big tree will have like a 6 foot, 8 foot wide root ball, so that's just how it is. So spread out the load of that tree, but got a few ants and stuff in this. That's another thing I do, is I'll put it in the heat box when it gets closer to storing it in the shop, and I'll run it really warm, and that'll kill any bugs in it. But just like a kiln does. It's basically just kiln drying it. But yeah, I'm super pumped about this. There's some curl through this into this spalting stuff. Yeah, it's pretty soft in that spalting, but like I said, that we may be through that by the time we're done. But this is one thing they do for super nice walnut gun stocks. They cut the root balls up. I've never done, I've always wanted to, and here we are. So it's a lot of work and it's hard on your tools, but man, I just don't like using plain lumber. All right, well, thanks for watching.